Hello, welcome to our channel. My name is rachelreva. I'm a publicity strategist and founder of lifeonhertermsmedia. We help Christian female entrepreneurs land media coverage and become thought leaders in their industry. And today I want to talk about Free Britney and why this is important for you as a business owner. Okay, so in case you don't know, in case you've been living under a rock, when I talk about Free Britney, I'm referring to Britney Spears, the pop star, the girl that at 16 came out with that famous "Oops, I Did It Again," like made those Catholic uniforms really popular again. I longed to have her abs for about 10 years. I still long to have her abs. But she was someone who was really popular, particularly when I was a teenager, but has come up in the last 10 years as a person of, frankly, had a lot of ridicule for the media, but also had a lot of issues that she was dealing with very, very publicly. So what has actually just happened is really interesting and also very important. And this is something as a business owner you really need to take note of, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So Britney Spears, for the last 10 years, has been in something called a conservatorship. And what that means is her father was nominated to take care of all of her business, financial, personal decisions because she was deemed at the time unable to take care of herself. Now, this is something that is given to someone when they are mentally incapacitated, when they're maybe in a coma, when they physically can't make decisions for themselves. But this has been happening for about a decade. And the reason why today is super important, her father has released that. He has stepped back from it. So we're not exactly sure what the next step is, but it seems like Britney is now going to have full autonomy again of her finances and direction of her future professionally and a lot of other things. This isn't just about money. This is even about what she can physically do to her body. So there's a lot of issues that came up from this. And if you're not aware of it, if you just think this is another celebrity whining and whatever, there's a lot more to it than this. And as a business owner, you really need to take note. I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why this is really important for you to note about the power of the media. Okay, so just to give you some background, for the last 10 years, Britney Spears' father, Jamie Spears, he had control over everything, not just her estate, not just her money, how she worked. So she'd been working in Vegas for the last few years. She was not in control of any of that money she was making. He was. She couldn't even have birth control put in without consent. She was given a budget that he was in charge of. Now, I'm not going to get into it about the relationship. I don't know enough. It sounds like it was really tough. It sounds like they had to make some really challenging decisions at a time that was tough for everyone when she wasn't doing well. But that time seems to have passed because she clearly can hold down a job and is doing incredible things in Vegas. So we are where we are. So this is what is interesting, because the word conservatorship, people have got a lot of different opinions about it. But frankly, these things are really important, because what can happen is, hello, abuse of power. Hello, human rights issues come up. Hello, as a woman, I can't make decisions about my own body because you're saying that, I have to go and get permission to. These are really important things. Now, what it has done is brought up this issue again. I didn't really know anything about it. I never really thought about it. Most of us probably never did unless you have to yourself, okay? So I want to tell you about where this all began from, because this whole Free Britney thing, there's a Netflix documentary, but it's a very popular hashtag. It has been going on for 10 years. Not just the issue itself, but the media issue itself. And what is interesting is there was a hashtag that was started Free Britney. Back in 2009, there was a guy who went famous on Instagram crying, saying his name was Chris Crocker, saying, "Leave Britney alone." And it was this bizarre outpouring of emotion from this guy who was really concerned about Britney Spears. And since then, the Free Britney hashtag has continued on. It's emerged in a few different ways. One of them was a podcast called Britney Graham, which also made a trending topic on Twitter. So you've got Twitter, you've got Instagram, now you've got Netflix. There's a lot of different places that the Britney story just seems to have reemerged. Now, where this all got interesting is a few months ago, Britney was meant to be in court, and people have just showed up in droves of supporting her. So the online world, I just want you to consider this, okay? It's a really easy time to be really negative about the media, and you could easily say, well, some of the issues she's been dealing with is because of the paparazzi and the exposure of media she had. But may I just suggest that media can be used for good too. And this is what is fascinating to me. Fans have protested. There has been hashtags. There have been people writing into local governments. Like, it has been fascinating, the outpouring of support for this one person. And when she finally actually said, I think it was on Instagram, she posted and said, look, you're right, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And people have been hashtagging her support, people who seem to know her as well as fans. The power of the media, just in social media, has led and encouraged this moment to happen. So here are the 4 things I want you to know as a result of this Free Britney saga. What can we learn here? As a business owner, what is it that you need to know? Number 1, you can use the media for good. Okay, you have a voice, you have a platform. Even if you only have 100 followers, that's 100 people who get to see and hear what you have to say. If you have an opinion about something, if you have a really, a good opinion about something that you think should be done in the world, or something that isn't working, or something that isn't right, you have the option to share it. It is a powerful thing. It may take 10 years for something to eventuate from it, for a crowd to come outside of a courthouse and come together and go, this is wrong, this is not right. It may take years for a Netflix documentary producer to pick it up and do something with it, but I'm telling you, enough voices can impact change. That is a really exciting thing about the media today. Number 2, your voice and opinion matters. It doesn't matter if it's a hashtag or a podcast. You can post it on any medium. It actually matters. I'm going to make a very old school reference that some of you may not know, but there was a song released in the 70s called The Hurricane. That song was written by a person called Bob Dylan. He wrote that song about a person his name was Rueben Carter, and he was jailed, completely convicted wrongly. He did not do anything, but he was jailed for nearly 20 years. That song that Bob Dylan decided to write about him put that conversation back on the map, and he was released years later. But I'm telling you, the power of the media and the medium that you're using, don't underestimate it. Don't underestimate it, okay? Your voice and your opinion absolutely matters. Number 3, as I mentioned before, it doesn't matter what your medium is. The Hurricane song literally brought back attention to an issue people had forgotten about. Look, you're living in the age of attention being the new currency. If you can grab people's attention, you've got everything. Attention is everything. So use it for good. Like, point it towards a matter that's important. During COVID, we're currently in lockdown at the moment, and I sit on the board of an amazing charity called the Live Free Project. And one of the things that we sat there and looked at was they were one of the only services operating in our city. And I said, we need to tell people that. We need to tell people that. We need to connect with the media, partner with the media. And guess what? Not only does it promote the service that they're doing, but it lets people know, the vulnerable people who need that service, guess what we're shouting about. And the people who don't need it, guess how you can help? Here you can. Use the media for good at this time. There are so many different opportunities to do this. And number 4, last but not least, use your story, use your platform, advocate for something that matters. Now, you may be sitting here going, this is very inspirational, Rachel, but I have no idea how to even start with what you're saying. Well, we have a brilliant download we have put together for you called Become a Media Magnet. This is specifically for coaches and consultants who are ready to spread their message in the world and be featured in media outlets. It has hundreds of media outlets that are looking to feature coaches and consultants just like you for free. So download that. The link is below. You can also find it at lifeonherterms.net. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like more of this, please subscribe to our channel and have a wonderful day. Sending you much love and peaches.